Like to thank you all for joining us for the Virtually Awful Concours de Le Mans in the soul-sucking Japanese appliance class. And with us today to judge, we have some authorities on soul-sucking Japanese appliances. But first off, we have our chief judge from Classic Motorsports Magazine, Tim Suddard. Hi, Tim. Thanks for joining us, and thanks for wasting your time for this debacle.
Oh, it's been a lot of fun. I started my career with a 240Z. It was the cover car of our first ever magazine. So Japanese cars have always been near and dear to my heart.
And someone who is has a ton of Japanese cars, probably one of the best collections in the country, Tom Knudsen. Tom, tell us why Japanese cars and why collect them with such fervor.
Well, when I was a kid, I was dropped on my head, and it probably all started there.
Yeah,
on the way to the hospital. The Japanese car got me there, and I think that's probably stuck in my mind. And since that time, so now I've kind of got a fetish for them.
Okay, well, that explains a lot, and probably explains your participation in this whatever it is, the ruining.
Well, I thought this was the Cisco finance meeting, but I guess that's going to be in an hour.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
That got pushed back half an hour.
Yes, indeed. And also joining us, a pair of folks that are.
Wait a minute, I'm on the wrong spot.
Also joining us are a pair of folks that are no strangers to Japanese cars, somebody who draws cars, somebody who races cars, collects cars, and manages cars. Gayle and Peter Brock, thank you both for joining us.
Oh, wouldn't miss it. This has become an annual event for us.
Yeah, yeah. This is our second annual, actually. Yeah, but you know, last year actually was the first time we were able to participate, and I have not had more fun ever since. I mean, it was just a blast. Everyone should go do this.
Both of you need to get out more, basically, is what's going on there.
Well, isn't that the catchphrase for 2020?
Indeed. Well, let's get right to it. We have a bevy of awful Japanese cars to show you all. So let's dive right in. And we are going to start this with, let's see, it is a 1978 Toyota Corolla. And it looks like the owner says after more than a few adult beverages and some torches, they made it into this.
They blocked out the front plate so we wouldn't steal it, or what's up with that?
I gotta say, this looks pretty nice to me.
Are those high-speed knockoffs they've got there, or is that intended to shred somebody's kneecaps?
Yes, exactly.
And up top, it looks like Dagmars. Peter, you know what that means.
Let's have a detail on this wheel. Is that a key on there, or what's going on with that?
Not quite sure, but I don't think it adds much to the car. I don't know that you could take away much, though.
The high-speed stability pins are a definite plus. I'm sure those come in handy when you get up in the 40 or 50 mile an hour range.
Ooh, honey, this is your area.
We have a 300ZX with a 1992 Infiniti Q45 V8 and a whole bunch of other Nissan products bolted onto it for no apparent reason.
A lot of aero on that baby.
And I think they borrowed a tire shredder from the local grocery store there on the top there.
Yes, indeed.
Is that a diffuser right there?
Yeah.
He's got a diffuser. He's got all sorts of stuff on this.
Yeah, pretty well done. I mean, considering. So moving on.
Get one angle, or is this what we have?
This is all we have is one picture. It's a good picture, but it's only one.
Yeah, so the other side might actually be perfectly normal, and we wouldn't know that.
Yeah.
Now, when those things in the back pop up, does the chute come out? Is that what that's for?
It looks like this isn't even this guy's car. He was just driving down the road, and it passed him, and he took its picture.
Oh, yeah. Good point, Tim.
You know what? For $300, it still counts.
Yeah.
Oh, this is definitely a contender for, that's pretty much fun on that one.
Okay. Well, next up, we have a picture of and a video that I will show in the background that we can't see right now. But for our next entry, we have a Miata with active aero on the back. This wing goes up and down. Let's take a look.
Here, Pete.
Okay, well, I'll cut that in later. But yeah, that wing goes up and down because you need that much downforce with a Miata. Am I right?
Absolutely. Yeah, no, there's no question about it.
And I'm assuming the car next to it is a parts car, and they just keeps this one running. You think maybe?
I'm not sure either one of them run, to be
Which one is
perfectly
being
honest.
judged here? I guess we're judging the one with the guy sitting in it.
Yes, exactly.
Okay, very good. It's
Yes.
always
He
good to ask.
obviously has not changed out his tail lights yet from the parts car.
No. Okay, so next up we have an entrant from down under. This is a 1970
man.
Isuzu KB. Now,
Oh, you know, you just don't get pine needles in most cars. This is really, this is primo.
It
Now
Is there
this-
a refrigerator in the back or something?
It shows the proper amount of neglect
Yeah.
to qualify. Yes, absolutely.
Oh, love that.
If this car started up and ran, then this would be a true contender in my mind, because
Yeah.
that's what we want to see.
Do you think the spider web's real or is that fake?
well, it's Australia, so that's probably real, and the spider is probably poisonous. So
Right.
Well, that's a Chevy Love, isn't it?
that is the same, very same that they brought to the United States as a Chevy Love. Yes.
So is it, wow, that's interesting.
Yep.
Look at these Susan. So on the dash, is that where the airbag deployed? Where it's kind of
No, there was no airbags in these. It was Australia, so you just they probably put barbed wire across the front, and you smashed into that, and off you went.
I don't see
Gayle,
anything.
yeah, he may have lost a quarter down the vent, and he had to retrieve it.
Yes, because the quarter's worth more than the truck.
Yeah.
Or the
Looks like the
toll.
dash just collapsed.
Yeah, the toll
Distinct
ticket.
possibility.
Yeah,
Okay.
I've had to dig toll tickets out of the vents. So, but yeah, no seat belts. Yeah, this is pretty special.
So next up is the lovable Honda 90,
Yep.
This is big money.
1967.
We're looking at big money here.
Right.
Yeah, that's actually a collectible.
Yeah.
It could almost be disqualified for that purpose. It's actually a legitimate bona fide collectible.
Maybe to you.
Oh, and obviously runs, or somebody walked it over there with their helmet on.
Well, they
Maybe
did
that's
take
where it
the leg guards off. The weather leg guards go on this because you want to drive this in the rain, right?
Yep.
Looks like the thing's had a hard life. They're all beat up.
Well, they were fairly inexpensive and very popular and used to commute. So not a lot of them survived. They made 10 billion of these things.
Yes.
But very hardy vehicle.
And
Okay.
do we score per wheel in our judging, or what's the rule, Alan?
You can.
Okay.
Bonus points for the oil pan underneath.
Yes.
Yeah, I was just going to point that out. Yep.
So next up, we have a 1965 Datsun 1500 Fairlady that is apparently dog friendly.
And why is that here? This looks way too good.
That's way too good. Yes.
This is not a lemon.
Well, it does have
Lovely.
GTI Recaro seats in it for no apparent reason. So
They act as a roll bar, obviously, from the height.
Yeah.
yes.
what if the dog came with the car, or is that just an add-on?
Maybe the car came with the dog. You never
Could very
know.
well be.
Yeah,
The dog looks very sad that he's sitting in that thing.
I think anybody would be.
That's a
Okay.
beautiful car.
Okay, next up we have a 2005 Scion. This was bought new by the entrant. The interesting thing about the Scion and what makes it a contender for this class is the only thing that you could ask for from the factory was the color and the transmission choice. Everything else was a dealer installed option. You wanted a radio, that was a dealer option. You wanted air conditioning, that was a dealer option. Floor mats were a dealer option. Nothing came from this car. They shipped from the factory, essentially stripped. And then you could accoutrement to taste at the dealership.
Dealers must have hated him to have to put all that stuff in.
Well, the flip side to it is, say you wanted one without air conditioning, with roll-up windows and with a radio, you could get that. You wouldn't have to wait for that to come from the factory. You could brew that up right on the spot.
Now, was that a bowling ball I saw on the rear seat there?
I think it was a helmet. It looked like.
Of course. Well, that makes sense because
Yeah.
you're going to need something like that.
Yeah. Well, and this one has covered 222,000 miles for the owner.
That's a long prison sentence.
It's kind of nice for a lemon.
Yes.
6 with 7 tanks of gas. That's pretty impressive.
Yeah. Exactly. So next up, we have an actual race car.
Toyota Celica.
I believe it is a 1977. I'll have to look it up here real quick. 1977 Toyota Celica.
Wonder where they came up with the numbers on the door.
Don't know. Yeah, that's
Rust Belt Racing. Have you heard of them, Pete? Are they big?
Big NASCAR team.
Rust Belt Racing, huh?
this looks like it may have been taken at Gingerman. I'm not sure. But yeah, definitely a race car. That's all the information we have on it.
Or Nelson Ledges.
Yeah. So next up, we have a Subaru Brat, which has been sent to us with pictures of it with full of engines in the back. Why? I have no idea.
Because Subaru engines break constantly.
You need a spare. You have the hot swappable, I'm sure.
I see.
Nice.
Does this one come with the very well thought out rear seats? I loved those. That was probably the best feature to ever come out of Japan.
No, it does.
Most
Looks like it does not. They've been removed for safety.
Because carrying engines in the back not tied down is more safe than the seats.
With the
Right.
back open.
Can we see the image above this one that shows straight on from the back?
There you go.
Great, there we go. Okay, yeah. I want to see that tire.
Yeah.
Now, so this is now become a global concours, right? Are these cars from all over the world?
They are from all over the world. We have them from England. We have them from Australia and all over the United States.
Very
welcome
impressive.
welcome to the internet.
Yes.
Very impressive.
So next up, we have a 1990 Nissan Access manual transmission all-wheel drive.
That's kind of cool.
Wow.
But
Where
it
is
doesn't
that?
look like it's driven anywhere in a long time.
I've seen that there is a theme going here, Alan, with the grass parking lot behind the house.
Yes, indeed.
In a number of cars.
Yep. Okay, so next up, we have what is essentially a super van. It is supercharged mid-engine Previa van.
Comes with its own wood on the roof, is that it?
Yeah. Well, you know, it's not big enough to fit a 4x8 sheet of plywood inside, so it's useful.
That could have been an option. You never know.
Yeah. So, you know, Toyota accidentally designed a supercar van and then saddled it with 90 horsepower, you know?
Yeah.
Do you think maybe it's a sunroof? I mean, maybe there's no roof under there.
That's possible.
Any sense of what's in the car now, engine-wise?
No.
Is that not known? Okay.
Not stated. So next up, we have a 2000 era Legacy. Was bought for $100 in non-running condition, so he overpaid. He added a battery and a spark plug, and lo and behold, it ran and is just waiting the next head gasket failure because it's a Subaru.
See, I love stories like this because it just goes to show you it puts the suck in the soulless component of this class.
Yeah.
Indeed.
Has typical Subaru rust too.
Yes, indeed. All right. So next up, we have a Miata, sort of.
Oh.
It's a lightweight edition.
Yeah, that is the superleggera, as they say.
So this started off in this state, and with more than a few adult beverages and some help from friends, it has actually been turned into a race car.
No.
Actually, Alan, it didn't start out in that shape. It started out as a beautiful new Miata, but it got to that shape.
Probably pretty quickly.
Well, we got to get this guy together with the other guy we saw earlier, and so they can swap some parts.
Indeed.
Yeah.
So next on the docket, we have a 1992 AutoZam,
Ooh.
which is a Mazda product, kind of one of their micro cars, and gull-wing doors with no provision for when it rolls over.
Bet you it doesn't leak.
All you need is a hammer.
Well, it's a small enough car that I'm sure you could probably roll it back over just by shifting your body weight.
A hammer and two friends.
Yes.
What if you only have one friend?
Then
You
you
might have-
enter in the Concours de Le Mans. Okay, so next up is a 2000 Toyota RAV4. It is this person's first car. You have to floor it to get it to accelerate to 25 miles an hour. But the owner loves it and has submitted a video. So let's take a look at that. So pretend we just took a look at it and it's awesome.
Fantastic. It's really quite amazing.
Yes.
Hopefully the video is of him driving to a warmer place.
Yes. Okay, next on the docket, we have this 1979 Mazda RX-7.
Besides the color, it looks
Classic.
great.
It is bone stock with the original unmolested 12A rotary in it that has never been out of the car. I can only imagine how much oil this burns.
Yeah. I had one. They're cool cars, but the steering in them's terrible.
That's a great looking
The
car.
velour seats, absolutely fantastic. Well presented.
Indeed.
And only a single crack on the dashboard. That speaks highly.
Yep.
Tom's trying to buy this car right now.
Yeah, exactly. You know, this is really, I'm going shopping today. This is all about finding out where the market is.
Hey, I'd make room in the garage for one of those. I think they're cool. I had one once, but they're up and coming too.
Well, if you can find one that's anywhere decent, that's the problem.
My
All right.
neighbor's got 3 of them.
There is a Miata without much more said about it other than pictures of my Miata.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah.
From
What more can
Florida,
you
is that
say?
right?
That's a hard looking Miata.
Yeah. It looks like Georgia. There we go. Okay. And next we have, let's see what year this is. A 1974 Datsun 260C Cedric wagon. This was a Japanese domestic market product and was also exported to Australia, which is where this one comes to us from. This has
It has those special Lemons tires on it, you know, where they're flat on the bottom.
Yes, indeed. And this actually has a fairly unique feature that I've not seen on any other car. In the rear quarter panel there, you can see a keyhole. If you insert the key there and turn it, because it is a Australian car, the passenger rear window rolls down. So you can access your kangaroo in the back without having to lift the tailgate. Not sure why that's a feature, but there it is.
Quite extraordinary.
It's
I bet that
interesting
was an optional extra.
It's interesting that's branded a Datsun. I thought U.S. was the only market that had Datsuns and everybody else had Nissans.
No,
You may have up-badged it, Tim. Maybe that's just an eBay badge. Who knows, right?
Yeah, no, there were Datsuns everywhere. When we went over to Japan several years ago, I was really surprised at all the people wearing Datsun shirts. And then I saw their cars that had Datsun on them.
Okay.
All right, so moving on, we have let's see, this is a 1967 Isuzu Bellette 1500 from Australia, from South Australia, and in its natural habitat, getting pulled up onto a rollback.
Yes, very.
Well, I saw it had the special Van den Plough picnic table in the back there too.
Yes, indeed. This car is driven with great enthusiasm by its owner, is one of his daily drivers.
Wow. Australia is definitely representing here today.
Yes, indeed.
Awesome.
Okay, moving on. We have this 1990 Q45 74,000 mile car.
Just being an Infinity, it's worthy of the lemons.
Yes.
That's going to be on Bring a Trailer tomorrow, I think.
Yeah, probably. All
Why
right.
is it a tree? I thought they always came with a tree from those ads.
Oh, yeah.
So we have a 9th generation Corolla with a lift kit on it, because that's what you do to a Corolla, apparently.
I did it to a Miata.
And safari lights look good on anything.
Absolutely fantastic. Well, this class is going on forever.
Yes,
Wow.
we're getting close, so I'll have to speed it up just a little bit.
California.
Next up is a Toyota FX16 GTS. This is a, what did he call it? It is a demo cross car, a sort of a cross between demolition derby and autocross.
Good use
Action
for that
shot.
car. I
That
drove
is-
one of those cross country once.
I'm sorry.
Which one is that?
Toyota.
All right, let's see.
My head is swimming. There's so many to choose from.
All right,
Oh,
we
yeah.
are going to jump ahead to, because we don't have much time left, going to jump ahead to this car here. All right, and this is a Grassroots Motorsports car.
Excellent. Local represent.
So this is a 1980 Datsun 210 with most of it Infinity G35 welded to it, with a 3.5 liter V6, with Jeep wheels, rain gutter bumpers, and a wide body attached to it. And
Very
you can
nice.
put a Christmas tree in it, apparently.
Oh.
Well, what I love about this is the faux BRE striping. That is just, you know, that is really pandering to the judges, and I do appreciate that.
I think that really brings it home. Yeah,
It makes any car look better.
that's where it started, and that's where it ended up.
Wow. That's a
That's
lot of
pretty cool.
So, any of them rise to the top that stick out in your mind as being spectacularly good or bad in one way or another?
Well, the one that shows the most ingenuity and effort to make it really interesting was that first aerodynamic Z car, the 300DX. I think that has an inordinate amount of effort put into it. A lot of these are just, you know, left to deteriorate, and I think it's important that we have to recognize the initiative of the owner in making something special.
And I don't want to come across and I'm trying to brown nose one of the judges, but that was actually my pick as well.
Okay, well, we're pretty much agreed on that one then.
Okay,
Oh,
Tom.
I will go ahead and brown nose one of the judges and say that since that's your pick, that's my pick as well.
It was,
Okay.
it was pretty cool. I wish we'd seen some more pictures of it, but it was cool.
It
Okay,
was
well,
very cool.
I think we have a consensus that the battle wagon post-apocalyptic aerodynamic sort of 300ZX is our soul-sucking Japanese appliance class winner for the Virtually Awful Concours de Le Mans.
Why'd we waste all that
Congratulations.
time looking at the rest?
Yeah, it just had some great features. You know, Tom pointed out that rental car strip on the top and had a diffuser in the back on the bottom. I mean, a lot of work.
Yes,
A
indeed.
lot of parts from a lot of different places went into that car.
And they all went no place good is probably the end result. But thank
Probably
you so
Turns out,
off the road.
just as a technicality, if it turns out it is just in fact a photo of that the guy took driving down the street of somebody else's car, I still think that qualifies.
Okay.
That's the spirit of Lemons right there.
Yeah.
We'll just get our lawyers involved to sort through it and figure out if that's the case.
Yeah.
Now, I leave that heavy hitting to you, Tim.
All
Yeah.
right. Okay, well, thank you all so much for participating in this. We know you all have much better things to do. I know I do, but we especially like to thank the sponsors, Haggerty, Classic Motorsports Magazine, eBay Motors, and Griot's Garage for making this entire debacle possible. And we'd like to thank all of our judges that participated today. Thank you all so much. And please come to the show next time we actually get to have a physical show. We'd love to have you all there.
Okay, Alan. Great.
Another great event. Thank
Good
you.
to see you.
Thank you very much.
Appreciate it.
But fun.